I'm Rad Simon Play, sitting in for Elamin Abdelmahmoud. So that is new music from Chappell Roan. The song's called Subway. And look, it's been 2 years since Chappell Roan released her debut album, The Rise and Fall of a Midwest Princess. That record generated billions of streams, earned her a couple Grammy nominations, and turned her into a pop icon. But what is this new single? What does it say about where she might be headed and how long it'll take to get there? Rihanna Cruz is here to help me answer those questions. Hi, Rihanna.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Listen, I want to hear just your first impression of that song, Subway.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of like it. It was a grower, right? I initially heard it and I was like, this is a little bit too down tempo for me. It's a little bit too slow, not what I'm used to hearing, right? We're kind of in the dog days of summer right now. Needed something a little bit more fast paced, but I like it. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I think I had the same kind of reaction. It grew on me. But it's interesting. I mean, you mentioned kind of the dog days of summer. It's released. I mean, I want to talk a little more about even just the whole timing of this, right? Because this isn't the first time people necessarily heard this song, because she did perform it at the Governor's Ball in New York last year, and fans had been kind of begging her to release like the studio version of the song. But then, kind of as you referenced, she's releasing it in the dog days of summer. So what are you making of that timing and how it's fitting within the vibe of the music scene right now?
Yeah, I think it fits for her. She very clearly decided to work on the song. She kind of tested it live and then took it back to the studio and worked it out. I think it fits the summer's vibe pretty appropriately, I would say, especially when you consider the landscape of pop music, because some of the biggest songs in the country right now, or at least, I live in LA. In the US, it's Alex Warren's Ordinary, Daisies by Justin Bieber, like these lo-fi, down-tempo, not really moving the needle in any banger direction type songs, so I think this fits appropriately within that, and it signifies, I think, a more mature shift for Chappell, going off of this and Good Luck, Babe.
Okay. Well, listen, I want you to listen to a part of the song that's actually striking a chord up here in Canada. So I don't know if you caught the reference to Saskatchewan there, but it's getting a lot of reaction online. In fact, the Saskatchewan's tourism board are reporting increased interest in the region after that because of that song. In fact, they actually launched a campaign that has the headline "Exploring Saskatchewan," based on your favorite Chappell Roan song. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah, Rihanna. As someone from LA, have you even heard of Saskatchewan before this song?
I have, but only because I have an interest in geography, right? I know the Canadian provinces, but I think the average listener, this is their first time hearing of Saskatchewan. It's so funny to say, in conversation.
I love that. We feel so seen right now. And let me tell you one thing that Saskatchewan does not have. Subways. Okay. So and now getting back to Subway, this song.
Yeah.
This is a very kind of melancholic breakup song, right?
Totally.
But I want to point out the music video, which kind of, it cuts through that melancholy because it's so chaotic and funny. These chaotic scenes from New York. What are you thinking about Chappell Roan's approach here in that video?
I think it adds a little bit of levity to the song, because the reason why the song didn't connect with me on first listen is that I thought it felt a little too maudlin, right? A little bit too schmaltzy for my liking. And I think watching the video made me like the song more because it's approached with a certain levity, and there's this kind of element of storytelling that's happening largely in the music video that adds an extra element of depth that we don't see in the song. Chappell has this long, beautiful hair that by the end of the video, it's all cut off, and, it signifies memories, and, hair holds memories and stuff like that, but it's played up in such a goofy way. I think I would say goofy about the way that hair is portrayed in the music video.
Yeah.
It adds a certain element to the song.
I should describe, the hair is so so overgrown, and like it reminds you of like
Yes.
Cousin It from the Addams Family.
Thank you. I was trying to locate the reference in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's also when you talk about like the down tempo ofness of it all and the melancholy of it all, but cut through with like levity. I mean, it also. I mean, I feel like does that also echo like Sabrina Carpenter's Manchild in a way where there is a sort of like it sounds like a woeful song, but there's so much comedy in it. And then when we talk about chaotic videos, I mean that video, the Manchild video,
Yeah.
for Sabrina, yeah.
I mean, Sabrina Carpenter always has a goofiness to her, is the thing. You
Yeah.
know, I think Chappell is goofy as well, but less so. You know, Sabrina Carpenter is always like winking and is in on the joke. I don't think Chappell does that as much. And you take like the song at face value, right? It's this Cranberries like Rock said it must have been love pastiche moment, and there's no real like humor or funniness in that. It's actually quite sad
The
and
Saskatchewan
heartbreaking.
line's kind of funny, but yes,
Okay,
yeah,
I'll give
yeah,
you that. I'll give you that. That's pretty funny. That made me laugh.
yeah.
The wordplay in the song adds that extra emphasis on I don't know, a little playfulness, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think Chappell's usually playful.
Yeah, which I think makes the comedy even more refreshing, right? When
Right,
that's her vibe, right?
right.
But let's look ahead because Chappell, recently told Vogue magazine that she's not in a rush to put out this next album, and might even take her like 5 years. Which I don't know what you make of like, I mean, taking this long to release a new record, like what could that mean for her as an artist?
I think it would signify a pretty big step in her artistry. You know, she's kind of reached a saturation point in the culture right now.
Hmm.
And I think giving her a while to work on her next record will help her really solidify herself as an icon, like you said, pop icon, and not just a flash in the pan, you know, one album here and gone. You know, taking time is radical, I think, in today's pop cycle. We don't really see a lot of artists sit and take time to really craft their next record before they put it out. I personally would love if Chappell released her next record in like 5 years. I think that'd be really great for her. I would love to hear what Chappell sounds like when she's like 30.
Right. Another thing that might seem radical, as you say, is I mean, and she said this, like she said that she's going to stay off the internet while she's writing this new record. So, I mean, how do you think that affects her relationship with her fans? You know, in terms of like not having that kind of contact over those years.
I mean, being on the internet and being a celebrity seems like one of the most hellish things that I could ever fathom. So the fact that she's consciously taking a step back from the internet and ostensibly working on her next album is a good move, I think. You know, kind of get away from the echo chamber. We want you to do this, we want you to do that, you know, the demands of fans, and really lock in on what you as a artist want your sound to be, which is why I'm very excited for this pivot, because I think if if all artists listen to their fans, we would not be getting good music. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I imagine like getting off the internet is also a huge mental health break for someone like
Oh,
Chappell Roan, who's
totally.
been like a flashpoint in so many politics and divisive, cultural
Absolutely.
conversations, right?
Yeah, I think this is a good move,
Yeah.
and I want her to take as much time as she needs. I want an album in 10 years.
Okay. I don't know if I want to wait that long, but now,
I hear.
a flashpoint. But I mean, bring it back to now. I do want to ask you because before we go, we've been kind of asking people for their favorite road trip music. Okay, like because we're putting together a summer road trip playlist. And so, what is one song that you think should be played on every road trip?
Oh, it's got to be Freebird. Has somebody said Freebird yet
I
by
don't
Leonard
I
Skinner?
don't think I've ever heard of Freebird, so no.
Wow. Okay, maybe this is American culture. This is the American Canadian divide right now.
uh,
Freebird by Leonard Skinner, Southern rock song, 8 minutes long. I think the perfect road trip song is a long song because you got nowhere to be, so you just got to sit and listen to it. And that I think is the one for me.
I love it. I'm gonna add it to my playlist, and I'll let you know how long it stays there.
Sweet.
So Rihanna, thank you so much for being here with us, for the recommendation, and for talking through Chappell Roan.
Absolutely happy to be here.
Rihanna Cruz is an LA-based music journalist, audio producer, and culture critic. They are currently freelancing as the senior producer for Vox Media's music podcast, Switched on Pop. And that's it for the podcast today. And look, we want to hear from y'all. What is your summer playlist track, like that you absolutely must listen to? Go to Commotion CBC on Instagram. Let us know. And, listen to any episode of Commotion anytime on wherever you get your podcast. And check us out on YouTube. We're at Commotion CBC. I'm Rad Simon Pillay, sitting in for Elamin Abdelmahmoud. See you next time.